What if I told you that most men walk around with desires so dark, they'll never admit them to anyone? Not their partner, not their friends, sometimes not even themselves. We're talking about the stuff that keeps them up at night. The fantasies that would make their buddies do a spit take, the stuff they wouldn't even whisper to a therapist after 6 tequila shots. Today, we're diving deep into men's darkest sexual secrets. Things they think about, fantasize about, and even hide in shame. This isn't your typical surface-level talk. We're going real, raw, and psychological. Stick around till the end, because number 5 might shock you the most. Let's uncover what's really going on behind the mask. Let's start with the taboo stuff. Many men carry sexual fantasies that fall outside what society deems normal. We're talking role play, domination, voyeurism, even submission. And listen, it's not always about wanting to dominate it, right? Sometimes it's about surrendering control, letting go just for a little bit. Think about it. These guys, they walk around with the weight of the world on their shoulders, expected to be strong, to be providers, to be stoic. It's no wonder they fantasize about letting someone else take the reins, you know? And here's the thing, most of these fantasies aren't even about the act itself. It's not just about getting off, it's about the psychology behind it. It's about control, vulnerability, or exploring parts of themselves they keep locked up. It's like this hidden world where they can explore these desires without judgment, without consequence. Think about it. We're all told who we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, especially men. But in these fantasies, they can shed those expectations and just be. It's freeing, man. And the thing is, a lot of these desires, they stem from a deep-seated need for connection. They want to feel something real, something intense. It's like this primal urge that's been buried under layers of societal conditioning. And sometimes these taboo fantasies, they're the only way they know how to access it. Then come the fetishes. Feet, pantyhose, leather, latex, even things you've never heard of. And listen, I know what you're thinking. Feet? Seriously? But it's not about us judging, right? It's about trying to understand. These aren't random, man. These fetishes, they're like breadcrumbs leading back to specific moments in a guy's life. Most fetishes are rooted in childhood imprints, early emotional triggers, or sensory fixations. Think about it. A particular smell, a texture, a sound, it can all be associated with a powerful memory, a surge of emotion. And that gets hardwired into their brains, man. Psychologists say a fetish is rarely just sexual. It's emotional, it's nostalgic, it's deep. It's like a time machine taking them back to a place where they felt something powerful, something real. And you know what's crazy? Some of the most confident alpha men have the most unexpected preferences. Because under all that bravado, they crave safe spaces to explore. They're still human, man. They still have these desires, these urges. And the thing is, they might not even understand it themselves. They might not know why a certain thing gets them going. But it's not about having all the answers, right? It's about being open-minded, about accepting that we're all wired a little differently. Chapter 3, Hidden Insecurities. Now let's flip it. Men aren't just hiding wild fantasies, they're hiding deep insecurities. Size, performance, attraction. We live in a world where everyone's a critic, man. And with the internet, it's like that pressure's been amplified 1,000 times over. Porn has warped reality. We're bombarded with images of these unrealistic airbrushed bodies, these marathon sex sessions. It's no wonder so many men feel inadequate. Many men fear they're not good enough in bed, even if no one's ever told them that. It's this self-imposed pressure, this fear of not measuring up. So what do? They stay quiet. They bottle it up. They pretend everything's fine when deep down they're terrified of being judged, of being found lacking. They fake confidence. They act like they don't care, like they're too cool for school. But it's all a front, man, a defense mechanism to protect themselves from getting hurt. Or worse, they avoid intimacy altogether. They pull away from their partners. They shut down emotionally. They'd rather be alone than risk being vulnerable, than risk having their deepest fears confirmed. Behind every silent man is often a storm of sexual self-doubt. It's like this constant battle raging inside them, this fear that they're not enough. And it breaks my heart, man, because these guys, they deserve to feel good about themselves. They deserve to feel desired. Chapter 4, Emotional Connection. Here's a surprise. Men actually crave emotional connection during sex, but they'll rarely say it. We're taught from a young age that men are supposed to be stoic, that emotions are a sign of weakness. The stereotype says men are visual and women are emotional. But that's just not true, man. It's a gross oversimplification of a complex issue. Truth is, both crave meaning. Both men and women want to feel something real, something deeper than just physical pleasure. But men are conditioned to suppress it. They're afraid to admit that they want to feel close, that they want to be vulnerable, that they want to be loved. So they put on this act, this facade of indifference. So while they act like they're just here for pleasure, many are silently wishing for closeness, acceptance, and love in the bedroom. They want to feel seen, man. They want to feel like they matter. And it's heartbreaking because when they don't get that emotional connection, it leaves them feeling empty, unfulfilled. It's like they're going through the motions, but their heart's not really in it. They're just trying to fill a void, but it's never enough. Chapter 5, Secret Kinks and Double Lives. Now for the darkest part, some men lead double lives, hiding kinks, apps, online personas. And it's not always because they're trying to cheat, man. It's not about that. It's about fear. It's about the fear of rejection, the fear of judgment. They think, if she knew what I really liked, she'd leave. So they keep it buried. They create these separate worlds, these separate lives where they can be themselves without fear of consequence. They live two lives, one public, one private. And the thing is, it's exhausting, man. It takes a toll. It's like they're constantly walking on eggshells, afraid of slipping up, of revealing their true selves. Not out of deceit, but out of fear of judgment. They crave acceptance, but they're terrified of being vulnerable, of being seen as weird or different. This is more common than you think. From secret OnlyFans subs to late-night Reddit forums, men are searching for spaces where they feel seen without shame. They're looking for connection, for understanding, for a place where they can be themselves without judgment. And it's sad, man, because they shouldn't have to hide. They shouldn't have to live in fear. They deserve to be loved and accepted for who they are, kinks and all. Outro, the truth about men's desires. So what does all this tell us? Men are not emotionless, not monsters, not just horny all the time. They're layered, complex, and often hurting in silence. They have these deep-seated desires, these insecurities, these fears that they don't know how to express. Sexual secrets don't make someone broken. They make them human. We all have our kinks, our fantasies, our things that we're afraid to share with the world. And that's okay, and maybe it's time we start creating space where men can be open, without fear, without labels, and without shame. A space where they can be vulnerable, where they can express their desires, where they can be their true selves without judgment. Did any of this surprise you? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and let's open up this conversation. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss real talk like this. Because here at Truthlands, we say what others won't. See you in the next one.